Hi, my name is Rob, and welcome to this session on remote teaching. We now live in a hyper-connected world where increasingly things, machines, computers, digital devices are more and more connected. And this is the Internet of Things. We have smart TVs, smartphones, programmable electrical devices. However, up until the point where the COVID-19 pandemic hit, the vast majority of education systems were delivering education in the traditional same way as they had for generations. Students in a classroom, face-to-face with a teacher. This map from UNESCO shows the total duration of school closures caused by the pandemic. And as you can see, Latin America was particularly badly hit, with a number of countries seeing closures over 41 weeks. This chart from the IADB shows the digital readiness of schools and the education systems before the pandemic. And as you can see, there is only one country where everything is green, and that country is Uruguay, the country where we have worked with an organization called Plan Ceibal to deliver English classes for the last 7 years. In Buenos Aires, we have one of the largest purpose-built remote teaching centers in the world. We have 35 teaching points or virtual classrooms within a 300 square meter facility. And from there, currently, we reach over 30,000 people every week, teaching English to children. And we've been doing this since well before the pandemic hit. A remote teaching solution is ideal when an education system does not have the human resources in country to deliver a particular subject, but it does have the infrastructure required to deliver it remotely. And this is the case of Uruguay. However, the remote teaching center is, whilst we are focused very much on our project with Plan Ceibal, we have also done other projects such as teacher training into countries as diverse as Kazakhstan and Myanmar. And we have also taught English on programs into schools in Mexico and Paraguay, and also Spanish to refugees living in Argentina. So our remote teaching center is a school without borders. Its only limit is its internet connectivity. So going back to the case of Uruguay, here we can see a photo of a remote teacher delivering a class. So all schools in Uruguay have a video conferencing room with a TV and a fiber optic connectivity. And this can bring a teacher from anywhere in the world to the children to teach them English. And here we can see the teacher on the screen and the local classroom teacher in Uruguay working in partnership to deliver the lesson to the children. And this is key to the model. When we go into another teacher's classroom in Uruguay, the partnership and teamwork between the remote teacher and the local classroom teacher is critical to the learning experience of the children. But what other things are important? Well, the remote lesson is only part of this new educational experience. In response to the pandemic, governments around the world have invested in platforms and laptops, for example, for children to study remotely where funding is available. So it's vital that children are trained on how to study and learn in this new environment. Of course, children are way ahead of us in terms of technology, but research shows that learning English, or any foreign language in fact, is more challenging for students working at home, both for the students and for their families. And we can see here the children really enjoy their remote teaching lesson. We have also, as we've delivered over 150,000 hours of remote teaching from our center in Argentina, we've also published a large amount of research on this. And I would encourage you to look for this book called Innovations in Education, Remote Teaching, which is edited by my colleague, Graham Stanley. And this gives a real insight into how a remote teaching center runs. Remote teaching, of course, has many formats. In the example I gave you, all the students were together in a classroom in Uruguay. Here, each student is in a different place. This represents a different set of challenges to the remote teacher in terms of establishing bonds between the students and teamwork. 6 years of experience has shown us that remote teaching works. The evidence base for learning is strong, and for children, it is very educational and motivational. And the pandemic may well be a key moment in the history of education systems. All countries will have been forced to change and adapt, and we don't know what the world will look like when it is over. But it is likely that education systems will change forever, and remote learning and teaching will become a significant part of the normal educational model in many countries. If so, we will need to consider how we prepare our learners and our teachers to meet this new challenge. Thank you.